Hey everyone, today we're going to be checking out the 301 Adventure Backpack from Grams 28. And I have to say I was a little surprised when I first saw the announcement for this, just given how different the style looked from some of the other Grams 28 bags that we featured on the channel. They always have, very stylish, almost kind of professional vibe. This definitely feels more heritage, rugged, and I love this type of bag in general, so I was quite excited. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to use this over the past couple of weeks. I'll show you how I've loaded it out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how it compares to some of the other similar bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, as the name implies, this definitely has a very adventurous and rugged vibe. It's an interesting blend of a more old school or heritage appearance with modern materials and touches. And so beauty is always in the eye of the beholder, but to me, this is a really nice looking bag. I think that it's gonna work well in a lot of different environments, not only in the outdoors, but also for traveling or just exploring a city. As far as the materials, this feels very solidly built. The primary exterior fabric is X-Pack, which I've been a fan of for a long time for its durability and weather resistance. You can kind of see the X-Pack patterning coming through here with the colorway that I have. And so this definitely feels like it's gonna hold up well to rougher usage. Beyond that, you just have really premium feeling components all throughout with bovine leather accents in different areas of the bag for the zipper pulls, really solid feeling buckles, and then some very smooth working zippers. Continuing along the outside of the bag, on the front you have the two buckles that secure the top lid. You can adjust them. They feel very premium. You also have the Grams 28 logo here on the front. And then at the top you have a nice carrying handle. This is a really premium feeling leather here. It offers a nice amount of distance. You can also use this to hang the bag up. And the last thing I'll call out while we're talking about the exterior is that the bag has been able to stand up pretty well on its own. I've noticed that it can tip a little bit depending on how the weight is distributed or when you open it up, but in general, I've been able to place it down next to me pretty consistently. Moving into the capacity, the bag comes in at a little under 22 liters, which is a really great daily bag size in my opinion. I was able to hold all the items that I normally like to carry with me, and the bag never felt overwhelmingly large or bulky. Of course, with these rucksack style bags, you have a little bit of flexibility as far as the capacity, but in general, this felt like something that was gonna work well in a lot of different situations and that I would be able to carry onto a variety of domestic and international airlines with me and use it as a personal item. Continuing with the harness system, so far the bag has been really comfortable to wear. I like how the straps have been implemented here. They have a nice amount of padding. It feels really robust and comfortable right out of the box. On the inside, you have a breathable mesh to help prevent moisture from building up. The straps also have a good width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little bit more packed out. You have an attachment point here, kind of a leather loop that you can use to clip on additional accessories. You have some webbing, and then you have an adjustable and removable sternum strap. On the back, you also have a really nice amount of padding, similar style to what was on the strap, so it feels very cushioned, well distributed, and then you also have a luggage pass-through that's going to allow you to rest this on your suitcase while traveling. Jumping into the organizational options, you have a nice variety of pockets all throughout. Starting off at the top, you have a great quick access pocket on the lid. And so this is going to be the spot that I would normally use to store things like my AirPods or a charging cable for my phone, my tablet. Could have probably also stored a pair of sunglasses in here. So a nice amount of capacity there. And then on the sides, you have these tall compartments that also have a nice amount of volume. These can be used to store something like a water bottle. They have this snap closure here so you can secure them. And at the moment, I have charging cable for my laptop as well as my USB-C hub on one side, and then a similar size compartment on the other side. Again, that snap closure. At the moment, I'm using this one to hold my AR sunglasses, so those fit in there comfortably. And this will be able to handle my typical 20-ounce water bottle pretty comfortably. It does struggle to close a little bit depending on the style of the water bottle. So, it will be able to hold it. You can leave it open. I was also able to fit a 26-ounce Yeti Rambler, but I did struggle to actually close it. And so your mileage may vary, but I am glad to see that it can at least accommodate the water bottle if I want to have it on the outside, and then that I can still secure these buttons for when I want to store something else in the compartment and prevent it from falling out. On the front of the bag, you have another zippered quick access pocket with some internal organization. And so I just have a couple of different things in here at the moment. A headlamp, which I might be grabbing a little bit more regularly, particularly in the outdoors. And then I also tossed in a wired mouse, which I picked up recently, USB-C mouse. And it's just a simple slip pocket there. And you have a few smaller slots on the back, something for, a pocket knife, a multi-tool, a pen, a pair of scissors. Those all fit in there nicely. And then you have a smaller zippered pocket as well that might be a good spot for something flatter or smaller. I have a field notes notebook in there as well as my suction cup mount for my phone. Moving into the main compartment, although this is a top-loading bag, the zippers have been implemented in a way that allows you to access the bottom of this main area without opening the top flap. So you have the zipper pull here at the bottom to be able to reach in and grab something easily. So really cool system there. But if you want to be able to reach in from the top, you have these almost Cobra style buckles here, very secure hold. You do have some adjustability with them. So if you are storing a little bit more in the main compartment, or you want to maybe place a jacket over, that's how I've used it in the past, you can do so, or you can tighten it down. As with any of these style of bags, you always want to make sure that the sides are tucked in under the lid to make sure that water doesn't accidentally get it in. And so really like the implementation here, and then you can quickly release these and you have visibility now into this main section. And so you can use this as a top loader and just reach in and grab whatever you need, but you do have the ability to open this up flat for additional visibility. So you get kind of the benefits of both styles of bag here, which is really cool. And then you have, a pretty open layout here that works well with a modular style of packing. And so diving into what I currently have, Evergood Civic Access pouch, 1/2 liter, my Alpaca admin pouch, I have my Beat Studio wireless headphones, Civic Access pouch, 1 liter, and then the 2 liters. So pretty standard loadout for me. All of those things fit in there pretty comfortably. And then this layout can also work well for minimal travel. If I wanted to toss in a packing cube, a toiletry bag, maybe an extra pair of shoes, I could definitely use this for a longer weekend trip. And Grams 28 has actually included a compressible packing cube of their own when you purchase this bag. And I think that they do a really great job with their packing cubes. You got a top loading kind of clamshell compartment here with the mesh so that you can see on the inside. You have a handle, and it also has the ability to expand and compress. And so that's a cool kind of bonus feature that this is actually included with the bag. You can use this, pack it in, it's gonna fit nicely. We saw something similar with their transit backpack, so great to see that included here as well. Now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside. You do have some built-in organization. So on one side, you have this elastic slip pocket that's gonna offer a nice amount of flexibility. And then you have a zippered mesh compartment near the top for anything smaller that you don't want falling to the bottom of the bag. And then on the other side, you have a pretty similar layout. The difference is that this slip pocket is split into 2 smaller compartments. And so, it might be good for, cables, tech accessories, EDC items, maybe a flashlight. And so, you have a few different options as far as what you can store. And then another zippered mesh pocket at the top. At the moment, I'm just using this to store a pair of wired headphones. And on the back, you have additional zippered pockets, one at the bottom here that, it's gonna be a good spot maybe for smaller notebook, e-reader. This offers kind of a soft material on the inside. It feels a little more padded. And you have this soft material on the front. So maybe you could potentially pair this with other accessories, hook and loop, patches, or anything like that. I don't really use these zippered pockets near the bottom just because I have all my pouches on top. But above that, you have an additional zippered pocket here that again offers a nice amount of space and a few internal slip pockets. And so this would be a good spot to store something like my mouse if I wanted to toss it in here. Could even fit in the slip pocket that's offered here. So plenty of space for my mouse, and then I have a USB-C cable and my portable hard drive. All of those things are items that I want to be able to access fairly easily, so I like that they kind of hang out here near the top. And then on the back you have a padded laptop sleeve, and I like that this sleeve offers a decent amount of protection. On the front you have the padding from the back, and then it's also pulled up off the bottom of the ground. You can see that there is a gap here. This is the type of bag where when it's empty, this structure can collapse a little bit and kind of come up to meet the bottom. And so this feels really protective when the bag is fully packed out. You just have to keep that in mind when it's emptier and you're placing the bag down. But still a good job here. You have the Velcro strap to help keep the device in place. More than enough space for a 15 or 16-inch laptop. Currently I have my 14-inch MacBook Pro. You can see that fits in there comfortably, and so taking this out of the bag. Now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside. This does come up a decent amount, so if you happen to have a thicker device, it should be able to fit in here pretty comfortably. And with the amount of padding that's offered here and the gap that's provided at the bottom, it does feel like my device is gonna be pretty safe while I'm on the go. And then the last thing I want to mention is that you do have some additional organization on the lid. I didn't end up using this compartment at the bottom just because all my stuff is usually in pouches, and I could also leverage the compartments that were incorporated into the rest of this main segment, but still nice to have the extra option for some smaller tech items that you don't want getting lost. And then above that you have another zippered mesh compartment, really nice material here. It's a little bit more flexible. At the moment I'm just using this to store a small medical kit. And so I really like the layout and the amount of space provided in this main area and throughout the rest of the bag. This layout has been really great to use. I love the style. And if you're interested in a premium and rugged all-purpose bag, I think this is gonna be a really cool option to take a look at. And so to wrap up, it's been a great experience testing out the 301 Adventure backpack over the past couple of weeks. You can currently purchase this on the company's site. It's gonna come in at around $700, so definitely premium pricing on this one, as tends to be the case with Grams 28's products in general. They are gonna be an investment, and you are getting something that's gonna be very solidly built, uses premium material. It's gonna offer a nice feature set, so it feels like you get a lot of value for the investment, but there's gonna be some other great bags in this price range or below that may be worth considering. And so as I was testing this out, although aesthetically they're quite different, this did remind me of Grams 28's Transit backpack, which was a really great EDC bag that also had, a clamshell style opening to make it, nice for travel. And, it had a good organizational layout, dedicated laptop sleeve. The internals reminded me a little bit of how things were laid out in the Adventure backpack, but that of course has that more modern professional style that I'd mentioned in the intro that, typically I had associated with Grams 28's products. And so that one has been great to use. Very, very durable. The leather on it feels fantastic. It's comfortable to wear. It's got a luggage pass through. And so if you're looking for, a leather backpack, something that's gonna be very premium, durable, that's still gonna be travel friendly, then that's gonna be a great option to take a look at. The next bag this made me think of is the rucksack from Nutsack, and that's another heritage style bag. It's made out of wax canvas as opposed to the X-Pack fabric that the Adventure backpacks use, but still very rugged. That's the type of thing that's gonna hold up nicely. It's gonna patina, and develop its own sort of character as you use the bag more and more. And I really like the layout of the rucksack. It's a little bit simpler. It's a top loading bag. It's got the one leather strap that allows you to quickly open it. You have some internal organization, the dual external pockets. You have a padded laptop sleeve. But in general, it's a pretty minimal but very versatile bag. And if you're looking for something that's gonna offer, a similar vibe, but a different fabric, then that's gonna be a great one to consider. Another bag this made me think of is the canvas backpack from Tom Beckby. I've talked about that one quite a bit over the past year, as I've really enjoyed the layout that the bag offers. It's got a more heritage style vibe, but I really like that it's a classic kind of top loader. It reminds me of a school backpack, easy to just get things in and out. And I really like the versatility of the pockets that it offers. It's got a padded laptop sleeve, a pretty comfortable harness system, luggage pass through. With the canvas material that it offers, it still feels rugged. It's gonna offer plenty of durability and a nice amount of weather resistance. And so if you're looking for something that's got this sort of a heritage style, but a different layout, then that's gonna be a cool one to keep in mind. And then the last option that I'll mention here is the 18-liter double compartment bullet ruck from GoRuck. I've used that bag a lot over the past year in various fabrics. The one that I've probably liked the most is the dark oak wax canvas version. I've absolutely loved using it. I think that it looks great. And then it has that layout, which I've become such a fan of. The dual clamshell compartments just give you so much flexibility with how you can organize. You have a top quick access pocket, dedicated laptop compartment, and at 18 liters, it's still a really great daily bag size. It's very versatile. And so if you're looking for something that's gonna be comfortable, rugged, and give you lots of organization, that's gonna be a really cool option to take a look at. With that being said, the 301 Adventure backpack holds up very well against all those options and is a really cool new addition to Grams 28's lineup. It's great to see them experiment with something new while still maintaining, the functionality and premium materials that they're so well known for. And so if you have a higher budget and you're looking for something, more premium to invest in, and you want a bag that's still gonna give you those heritage vibes and a nice organizational layout, this is gonna be a cool option to take a look at. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the Adventure backpack and how it compares to some of the other popular EDC bags that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank Grams28 for sending the bag for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.